Dāmas un kungi, lūdzu uzmanību ASV himnai. Thank you, paldies, un svētbrīdim tagad lūkšu mācītāju Jāni Ginteru.
Tēva un dēla un svētā gara vārdā. Āmen. Apostols Pāvils pirmajā vēstulē korintiešiem raksta: Mēs esam Dieva darba biedri. Jūs esat Dieva aramais tīrums, Dieva celtni. Pēc man dotās Dieva žēlastības, es kā gudrs namdaris esmu ielicis pamatus, bet cits uz tām būvē. Un katrs pats, lai raugās, kā viņš būvē. Priecīgus Latvijas valsts svētkus. Dažādos laikos es esmu dziedājis un klausījies mums visiem pazīstamo gaismas pili. Un vienmēr esmu domājis par asociācijām. Ko šī metafora tā man nozīmē? Ko šī metafora varētu nozīmēt citiem šodien, dažādos laikos. Kad Ausekls to rakstīja 19. gadsimta vidū, un pašā gadsimtu mijā Jāzeps Vītols to komponēja, pat būdams ārpus Latvijas teritorijas. Par ko tad viņi varēja domāt ar šo metaforu? Kas viņiem asociējās? Varbūt viņi varēja jau tā savā iekšienē domāt par nākošo Latvijas neatkarīgo valsti. Vēl esmu domājis arī, vai 1918. gadu varētu jau saistīt ar kādu gaismas pils pacelšanos augšā, vai tikai tā parādījās pēc cīņām, kad reāli valsts jau bija. Un ja lietojam šo pašu metaforu, vai kur tad šī pils palika okupācijas laikā? Vai varbūt tā bija pacēlusies trimdas latviešu vidū? Un kā gan gaismas pili varēja interpretēt arī okupētajā Latvijā, lai gan ar grūtībām, bet tomēr to varēja dziedāt? Manuprāt, es domāju, ka arī šodien mēs 18. novembri varam svinēt un saistīt ar gaismas pils pacelšanos Latvijai. Bet tikai varbūt ne to un tādu, ka tā būtu pilnībā un statistiski pacēlusies, bet ar to, ka tā mums ir kā gaisma jau no šī laika 106 gadus, bet tomēr, kas līdzīgs kā apustulis šodien runājot par Dieva valstību teica, mēs esam Dieva darba biedri, arī Dieva aramais tīrums un Dieva celtne, kādas citas metaforas. Un mēs esam tie, kur mūsu tēvi ir likuši pamatus, bet mēs arī joprojām to celtni, to pili būvējam. Šodien arī mēs raugāmies uz tik daudz izaicinājumiem, un par tiem mēs daudz dzirdam. Bet tomēr mēs varam svinēt, un mums jāsvin šos svētkus, raugoties uz šo lielo Dieva dāvanu. Valsti, neatkarību, ko Dievs ir devis mūsu skaitliski nelielai tautai, kamēr daudzkārt citas, daudz lielākas tautas nevienmēr tos ir saņēmuši. Vienmēr uzlūkosim Latvijas valsti kā Dieva dāvanu, bet kā arī celtni, kuras celšanā, kuras pacelšanai gaismā Dievs mūs ir aicinājis. Priecīgus svētkus. Lūksim Dievu. Visuvarenais un mūžīgais Dievs, mēs Tev pateicamies, ka Tu mūs uzturi, mūs vadi, un mums esi devis šo brīnišķīgo dārgumu, kas ne visiem pasaulē ir. Mēs pateicamies par mūsu valsti, mēs pateicamies par mūsu valsti arī mūsu sirdīs, kas mums ir, un tajā celt mēs esam aicināti. Mēs pateicamies, ka Tu joprojām mūs uzturi. Mēs pateicamies, ka arī mēs joprojām esam sargāti. Mēs šodien pastāvām lūkšanās par tiem, kuriem posts, karš, kura neatkarība tiek apdraudēta, īpaši lūdzam par Ukrainu. Mēs lūdzam Tavu žēlastību, sargāšanu un pasargāšanu arī no visiem iekšējiem ienaidniekiem. Mēs Tev lūdzam, dāvā žēlastību arī mums būt tiem, kuru savu latvietību un valsti mīl no visas sirds, un lai mēs spētu raudzīties, kā mēs šo Tavu celtni būvējam. To mēs lūdzam caur Jēzu Kristu mūsu kungu, viņa vārdā arī tā lūdzot. Mūsu Tēvs debesīs, svētīts lai top Tavs vārds, lai nāk Tava valstība, Tavs prāts, lai notiek kā debesīs, tā arī virs zemes. Mūsu dienišķo maizi dod mums šodien, un piedod mums mūsu parādus, kā arī mēs piedodam saviem parādniekiem. Un neieved mūsu kārdināšanā, bet atpestī mūs no ļaunā, jo Tev pieder valstība, spēks un gods mūžīgi mūžos. Āmen. Dziedāsim dziesmu.
skaidrību, mieru un laimi, viņš man dod gadījis. Kad laiva negaisa zāna, par darbu, no citu izstāvējā, un cerība paceļam galvu pret debesīm mūžīgām.
Labvakar! Sveicinus visus Latvijas valsts 106. gada neatkarības proklamēšanas aktā. Pasakos visiem, kuri pielikuši roku sagatavot šo programmu. It sevišķi mācītājiem, Erikam Kākulam, Kājai Petroskai un Dāmu komitejai, Ernestam un korim. I would also like to welcome and thank Anders Bezinch, our keynote speaker, for making the drive not from Indianapolis, but from Carmel, Indiana. As you're all probably aware, this is a very divisive time in our society. There are wide-ranging opinions on important issues, and often people are firmly dug in on one side or the other. We're at a crossroads, and decisions we make today will affect our future sustainability. These discussions and disagreements are very prevalent in places like here and Michigan. Of course, I'm talking about how much English should be spoken at traditionally Latvian events. How do we continue to maintain our Latvian culture and identity when many of us have non-Latvian speaking partners and our children are either only partially fluent in Latvian or not at all? 40 years ago, it was easy. The vast majority of us spoke Latvian, went to Latvian school, attended Gadazars, folk danced, and on and on. There was not the threat of losing non-Latvian speaking children or spouses from our already small community because there weren't many non-Latvian speakers. The irrefutable fact is that we are not in that position anymore. We are at a very important place in our history for those of us who live outside of Latvia. Unless we all marry Latvian speakers, the statistical fact is that with each generation there will be fewer and fewer in our society that speak Latvian. Do we continue to speak more English to help ensure that Latvian traditions live on? Or do we speak Latvian because language is such a form of identity and is very important? If we keep introducing English at Gadazars, what about those that want to improve their Latvian? Are we a Latvian church that is Lutheran? Or are we a Lutheran church that speaks Latvian? What makes us Latvian? Is it bloodline? What if we speak Latvian but don't participate in any Latvian activities? What if we don't speak Latvian but sing Latvian songs, dance, and meteninš, want to learn about Latvian history, geography, culture, and traditions, even if we're learning it in English? There's no question that language is very important. Without it, we lose a certain identity, the ability to read literature, etc. Valoda ir svarīga. Man bija tik liels prieks pagājušajā svētdien dzirdēt no mūsu jauniešiem, kad viņi stāstīja par saviem piedzīvojumiem Gadazarā un priecīgās pēdās divi, tekošā latviešu valodā. Mums vajag ļoti censties šo nepazaudēt un turpināt palīdzēt tiem, kuri grib mācīties un runāt latviešu valodu. Bet mums arī jāatzīst, ka mēs esam pazaudējuši ģimenes, kuri nerunā latviski, un mūsu mazā sabiedrībā mēs to nevaram atļauties, ja mēs vēlam pastāvēt. So what makes us Latvian? Why are we here today, celebrating the independence of our resilient Latvia? I think it's because of this. Our heart is what makes us Latvian. It's a feeling of pride. It's a feeling of resiliency. It's a feeling of never giving up so that Latvia never loses its freedom again. It's what is in our hearts. What other nation has regained its independence partially through song? What nation's people repel an army with farm tractors? We all love our Latvia, so we are all Latvian. We come together as we did just over a month ago at Valsts to celebrate our heritage through music, dance, and each other. We share a love of Latvia with others in our own way. It's very special to us. One person who's very passionate about sharing his love of Latvia is our featured speaker, Andris Bērziņš. He's currently the honorary consul for the Republic of Latvia to the state of Indiana. He was telling me that he was last here for a confirmation in 1984. And unlike society, the building really hasn't changed that much. So we welcome him back today, and thank you very much for making the trip, and we look forward to hearing about everything that you're doing now and some of your thoughts about the future. Andri, paldies.
Paldies. Paldies, Andrej. Visi var man dzirdēt. Man vispār ir skaidra balss. Labvakar, dāmas un kungi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. Mīļie tautieši, ir mans gods ar jums šodien svinēt Latvijas 106. dzimšanas dienu. Dear patriots, it is my honor to be with you today to celebrate Latvia's 106th anniversary. And yes, I'll be speaking in Latvian and English, so the 45-50-minute speech will take about an hour and a half. Just kidding. Grūti ticēt, ka ir pagājuši 75 gadi, kopš latvieši sāka imigrēt uz Ameriku. Kā letiņi, mēs, protams, sākām organizēt latviešu sabiedrības, biedrības centrus, baznīcas, skolas, tautsteju grupas, korus, korporācijas, teātru grupas, Daugavas Vanuga apvienības, nometnes un vidusskolas, lai mēs varētu audzināt mūsu bērnus ar Latviju dvēseli, ar Latviju valodu un kultūru, vienmēr cerēdami atgriezties tēvu zemē. Es esmu viens no tiem bērniem, kas uzaug latviešu sabiedrībā. It's hard to believe that 75 years have passed since Latvians started to immigrate to America. As Latvians, we immediately started organizing Latvian communities, centers, churches, schools, folk dance groups, veterans organizations such as Daugavas Vanuga, camps and high schools, so that our children could grow up with Latvia in their hearts, with the Latvian culture and language, always hoping we would return to our beloved Latvia. I'm one of those children that grew up in the Latvian society. Šodien es jums stāstīšu par jaunu organizāciju, ko dibinājām 2022. gadā. Karmos un Jelgavas sadraudzības pilsēta. Šitā ir unikāla organizācija, tādēļ, kad viņa eksistē, protams, latviešu sabiedrībai un latviešiem, bet viņa galvenā misija ir, lai savest kopā cilvēkus no citām valstīm. Un tas ir kaut kas unikāls. Kamēr mēs uzturam latvietību Indiānā, mēs arī cenšamies iepazīt Karmelas un Jelgavas iedzīvotājus ar viens otru caur dažādām izmaiņu programmām. Today, I will be introducing you to a new organization. It's very unique in that it doesn't exist like most every other Latvian organization that's here to continue and help support the Latvian communities. It's actually here to help Latvians in Jelgava Latvians and Carmel residents get a chance to meet each other, to integrate, and to learn from each other. So it's a very unique in that sense. I mean, we do maintain the Latvian culture in Indiana, but also it's our mission to introduce Carmel and Jelgava citizens and organizations to one another through various exchange programs. First of all, vai kāds zina, kurām citām Latvijas pilsētām ir sadraudzības pilsēta Amerikā? Does anyone know what other Latvian cities have sister cities in America? Anybody? Yes? Riga does with whom?
Dallas.
With Dallas, and that goes back to 1988. That's during the Soviet Union that was established. Tur ir vēl viena pilsēta. There's one more city in Latvia that is a sister city in America. Does anybody know which one that is? I think he's cheating. But aren't you a politician? Okay, since he's got his hand up, we'll let him answer. It is Liepāja. Liepāja and Bellevue, Washington established a sister city relationship in 1992. Since that time, there have been no other sister city partnerships established until Jelgava and Carmel, Indiana. Carmel, Indiana happens to be the northern suburb of Indianapolis. It's a city of about 100,000 people. It's also where a majority of the Latvians live today. So that's something very unique, and it's great that we had that opportunity. Kāpēc Carmel? Why Carmel? A lot of people ask that. Es dzīvoju Karmelā. Es dzīvoju Karmelā kopš 87. gada. So that's pretty clear. Karmel bija pilnīgi cita pilsēta tanīs gados. Mums bija varbūt 25,000 iedzīvotāji. Mums šodien ir 100,000 iedzīvotāji. Why Carmel? I live in Carmel since 1987. It's a beautiful city. When I moved there back in '87, there were only 25,000 citizens, residents living there. We now have 100,000. So it's changed a lot. The other question, kāpēc Jelgava? Why Jelgava? Mani senči ir jelgavnieki. Mans vectēvs bija policijas kapteinis Jelgavā 30 gados un bija, protams, ar ģimenes spiests izbēgt no Latvijas un tad nonāca, protams, Amerikā. So the reason it's Jelgava is because of me, I guess. My parents, my grandparents, my grandfather was a police captain in Jelgava in the 1930s. The other thing is, they're very similar cities in a lot of ways. The fact is, Carmel, the mayor, happened to be the mayor for 28 years. Andris Rāviņš, that's Jim Brainerd. Andris Rāviņš has been the mayor for 26 years. They have a focus on education, the arts, music, sports, everything. They were a perfect pairing of two cities. Carmel has 100,000 people, Jelgava has 65,000. So it's turned out excellent. Mēs esam daudz ko paveikuši īsā laikā, kā Karmels un Jelgavas sadraudzības pilsētas, un esam viena no visaktīvākām sadraudzības pilsētām Indiānā. The Carmel and Jelgava Sister City Partnership has accomplished a lot in 2 years. It's only been 2 years. Quickly has become one of the most active sister city partnerships in the state of Indiana. I can tell you, prior to Carmel and Jelgava Sister City Partnership, maybe some people in Carmel knew of Latvia because it's in the Balkans. or perhaps Latavia, which I never could understand where that extra A came from. But I can tell you nobody knew about Jelgava. Today, and you'll see why, everybody or most people in Carmel know about not only Latvia, but know about Jelgava. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. This I am going to do in English because otherwise this would take twice as long, obviously. So I had the honor of becoming Latvia's honorary consul in January of 2020. What happened in March of 2020? COVID. Yes, very hard to do my job as honorary consul when the whole world shut down. In a way, it actually helped me, gave me 2 years to establish contacts. This was my inauguration ceremony, which was held at the Indiana State House with Governor Eric Holcomb, Secretary Brad Chambers, Modest Selga, the ambassador for Latvia to the U.S. Eric Koch. He is, I believe, the only Latvian senator in the Indiana General Assembly. I believe he's the only Latvian in the entire United States. But it was my honor to have it there, and I was very honored that Governor Holcomb opened the day with my inauguration ceremony with a speech. I was very, very honored to have that. The Latvian flags were put out in the Indiana State House. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. I wanted to share this. This is Mayor Jim Brainerd. Mayor Brainerd and I met years ago, but we connected also back in 2022. He was kind enough to invite us for dinner when Modest Selga, this is again Zadaks, that's Andrejs Kants, viņš ir vicepriekšsēdētājs Alas Alai. And Mayor Brainerd saw it as an opportunity to invite us over. When we pulled up, the Latvian flag was outside his home. Another politician. And it was a wonderful evening. And that's what started the Carmel Sister City relationship. There's another picture of me and Jim. As soon as we finished that in end of October, we again met in November, and by December we had agreed to formulate a Sister City partnership. The great thing was I had a chance to meet Andris Raviņš. He is also in 2022, this was before we actually signed any of the paperwork. They were very excited, and actually we're looking for a sister city in America. So the timing was perfect. With all of COVID, everything else, it just kind of fell together perfectly for us. This was when they signed the agreement by Zoom. It's great we can do that these days. So that's Andris Raviņš and Jim Brainerd. And there we go. We put together our Sister City Committee. So it's really been a fantastic opportunity. We've done a lot of different things in those 2 years. We've been part of a lot of different things, including the farmers markets and other opportunities. We partnered with Indiana University Hospital to ship $410,000 worth of medical supplies to Jelgava and Ukraine. We really appreciated Indiana University's donation. We also appreciated the Carmel Firefighters Union that helped pay for the shipment over to Latvia. Those about $110,000 worth was shipped off to Ukraine, and the remaining items stayed with Jelgava. So it was a very nice gift. One of the things we started 2 years ago was the Sister City Christmas at the Carmel Gazebo. So all the sister cities, we have 6 total. This was one of our ideas. We brought everybody together to have this opportunity. The great thing is it's expanded. Last year we started Christmas caroling in Latvian and in German and in English. Believe it or not, the Germans thought that Ak Eglit, it was a German song, which, come on. I told them, I said, and we started the Christmas tree as well, just so you know. But you know, these are the great things we can do in the community and have fun with. Every time we have an opportunity, we put out information about Jelgava in Carmel. This can be at a variety of different events so people can learn about it. I had a chance to lead a delegation in 2023 in May. That's Mayor Brainerd, so we had a chance to visit with Andris Teikmans. As many of you know, he was the Latvian ambassador here in Washington, D.C. for Latvia, obviously, and we had a chance to visit the Igis Pils. So we went over there. We had a 5-day visit. We had a chance to present Andris Raviņš in the city of Jelgava with a flag of Carmel that was flown on May 4th. As many of you know, Baltā Kalno diena. We also presented him with a flag that was flown over the U.S. Capitol that we worked with Todd Young on, also flown on May 4th, and we also presented a flag that was flown over the Indiana State Capitol on May 4th and was given to us by Governor Holcomb. This is where we celebrate the planting of the Carmel tree in Jelgava and the sign where it clearly lists Carmel ASV. This is great. We just had some friends. My nephew went to Jelgava with some American friends, and they were thrilled to see, they all came from Carmel, and they were thrilled to see Carmel listed as one of the sister cities. We've also done educational things in the library where people can learn about Jelgava, which has been wonderful. We've also partnered with the schools in something called the Culture Club, where the kids presented and put together information about each of our sister cities, including Jelgava, and shared with the rest of the students at the school. We had a police exchange program. 2 Jelgava police officers came and spent 2 weeks in Carmel, riding with the Carmel PD, learning about the police and how police operations work here in the United States. We also let them go down to Indianapolis to check that out because it's a little different. But unfortunately, it was a quiet evening. But still, this is a wonderful exchange. At the same time, Carmel sent 2 of their officers to Jelgava, and they spent 2 weeks there as well. This is something we've continued. We have the Carmel International Arts Festival. Raitis Junkers and Kristīna Landau Junker came in 2023 and participated in the Carmel International Arts Festival. We loved having that. And we also had the Jelgava delegation visit us in September of 2023. We had 10 people, Andris Raviņš, the police chief, Viktor Svanaks, and others from his administration that spent 5 days in Carmel being introduced to our beautiful city. There's Andris Raviņš, Jim, Brainerd, Raitis, and Kristīna. These were the official meetings we had in front of Carmel City Hall. We also had the chance to enjoy a concert at our world-famous Palladium in the city of Carmel. It's a beautiful concert hall. I'd encourage all of you to come. I know when we had Valsts Congress in 2023, we had a chance to tour the Palladium, and they also played one of our a lovely Latvian song for everybody, but it was really a wonderful experience. Also at Valsts Congress, we had Tirkas band. So if we're going to have Valsts Congress in Carmel, we brought over a Jelgava Tirkas band to play at the main ball that evening. They were wonderful. We had a great time. It really was. You might even recognize the gentleman in the back, kind of the older gentleman. Anybody recognize Armand Bidkins? He was not able to come and sing, but we like including him. He's a pretty decent musician, right? And they traveled around, again, the Christmas tree. This is actually going to be our 3rd year with the Christmas trees. We also did Latvian night at Chris Crindle Mart. We have one of the best Chris Crindle Marts in the country in Carmel. Just so happens that Chris Kin, the young lady, she's Latvian. So we had a great evening. Again, little do they know, Christmas was established in Latvia, not in Germany. So we kind of keep reiterating that. But that's Leah Kuhn. She's also finished Latvian school and also Gazes. So that evening was the evening we went to sing. Of course, we did a big sveicieni, a big reading to Jelgava that we videotaped and sent over to him that evening. So it really was a lot of fun. Because of that exchange, because the artists came, the Latvian school in Indianapolis put together a Jelgava presentation where all the kids participated with paintings and discussions and drawings about Jelgava and told stories about Jelgava, which was wonderful. We really enjoyed that. We also partnered up with a book exchange with the libraries. So we shipped off some 400 books to Jelgava Library. Those were books, English books, primarily teenage age books. I was introduced to a new type of book that I was not familiar with. The young people here, who's familiar with the Japanese books? What are the popular Japanese books? See, this is my old age getting to me because now I'm forgetting the name of them. But that was the funny thing is they asked for Japanese books in English. What's that? It's which one? That's it. It's funny, I'd never heard of them before this. So we shipped off a couple hundred books of those to them. They also shipped books to us from Latvia that are now displayed in the library in Carmel. We also had an exchange with IU Hospital and Jelgava Hospital. These are two Latvian doctors that came over for 2 weeks and spent 2 weeks at Indiana University Hospital in Carmel. That's our new mayor, Mayor Sue Finka. She's also a big supporter of the Sister City programs and a big supporter of the Jelgava-Carmel Sister City relationship. In exchange, we also sent a lot of beautiful photographs of Carmel to Jelgava, and this summer they had a big exhibition in their culture hall and showed a lot of different photos of Carmel so we could introduce people in Jelgava to our beautiful city. By the way, Carmel has more roundabouts than any other city in America. I think it's about 150 and growing. So you never get stuck at a light in Carmel. I share this with you because we had an Olympic watch party, which all the sister cities participated in down at Midtown. This is a great place for us to celebrate, and we put out our flags. It's great to see, of course, Latvia there. Again, we introduced the people that came to the opening ceremony to the city of Jelgava. We also had a police exchange program this year again. Had a chance, and that's with the new mayor and the new police chief and the 2 officers from Jelgava. They really enjoyed it. During the shooting training that they went through, they shot, I think, 700 plus rounds of ammunition. And I know they told me that's equal to about 10 years of ammunition in Latvia. So apparently we have a little more ammunition in America, which doesn't really surprise me. We also had a chance to meet with the Rotary and tell the Rotary a little bit about Latvia and the Rotary members, if you're familiar with that organization. They were nice enough, and what they did is donated 2 books to 2 different elementary schools about Latvia, facts about Latvia. I had actually never seen the book. It was quite interesting. So it's great. Again, we're having a chance to introduce all different groups to Latvia in Carmel, and it's really been wonderful. One of the most recent things we did is we invited Lielupet Tautsday ensembles, one of the best folk dance ensembles in Latvia, to the Carmel International Arts Festival. They arrived in the end of September. This is actually in Chicago, you might recognize it. And they performed in Chicago and spent a few days there before coming down to Carmel. In Carmel, we had lined up a live performance on our Wish TV, I believe that's our CBS affiliate. It was a wonderful experience. It was their first time being live on TV, so that was very exciting. It was a beautiful performance, and we loved having them there. We also had a concert in Carmel Middle School. At the same time, we were very happy to host Lelba in Carmel. So this made this even a greater experience for everybody. And I know all the Lelba attendees came. I know some of you have seen this already. Sorry about that, but thank you for showing up, because we got hit by the tail of the hurricane, and it was only a torrential downpour and the wind blowing 50 miles an hour. But I have to say, I was quite surprised how many people did show up for that evening's concert, and it was truly a wonderful performance. They were quite amazed at our middle school facility. It seats about 500. It's a beautiful facility. And it's, again, the opportunity to dance there was incredible. They also danced at the Carmel International Art Festival. Ella Simpson is the director. You'll see her right there next to Mayor Sue Finkham. They danced several times during this event. And the great thing is that Saturday night, of course, the rain started coming. There was supposed to be a big band playing. Problem is, it was raining. But you know who showed up? The Latvians. Because rain doesn't bother us. And while the band tore down, the DJ got up and they started playing Latvian music at the Carmel International Arts Festival. Not the Tautsday music, but the rock music. So it really turned out to be a wonderful event. This I'm sharing, we had this summer consul conference in Latvia. These are all the honorary consuls from around the world. I believe we had 92 consuls from 45 different countries. And we had the opportunity to spend that time in Latvia at the Latvian ministry, the foreign ministry, as well as traveling and visiting Jūrmala, Valmiera, Cēsis, and the rest of Latvia. It was a wonderful experience, and we really appreciated that opportunity. Of course, I had a chance to meet President Rinkēvičs. Very nice gentleman. I've known him because he happened to be foreign minister and signed my papers as honorary consul. So we had met several times before, including in Chicago for Atlas Congress a few years back. Very wonderful experience. We went, as all the honorary consuls came through, had a photo, and we had a very nice reception in the Rīgas Pils that evening. So, again, this is kind of the travels that I've had as honorary consul. It's been a great experience, but it's also opened my eyes to a lot of different opportunities. So, I'm going to go back into Latvian and English now and talk a little bit about what Andrejs mentioned and my perspective on that. Kad Latvija atgūst savu neatkarību 1990. gadā, mūsu sapņi palika mūsu realitāte, un trimdas latvieši sāka virzīt palīdzību un līdzekļus jaunai latviešu valdībai, organizācijām, tautiešiem un radiem tēvzemēm. When Latvia regained its independence in 1990, our dreams became a reality, and the Latvian diaspora in America shifted to support our new democratic Latvian government, organizations, citizens, and relatives in Latvia. And that was to be expected, and it paid huge dividends. Huge dividends in that we became members of the European Union. We became members of NATO. Had this not happened, we would have lost our independence 15 years ago, as the Russians would have reinvaded our country, guaranteed. As we see the atrocities and the war in Ukraine, the same would have occurred in Latvia. I'm not sure Latvia can withstand another war and another genocide against our people. We cannot. So thank God that we did provide that support. Thank God we had leaders in this country. Jānis Kukains being one of the preeminent ones that really helped further the cause of our NATO membership. I know there were many others. I'm sorry I won't mention everybody, but that was a significant point in our history. Mēs varam būt lepni, ka pēc 75 gadiem mums vēl darbojās centri, biedrības, baznīcas un skolas, Un tagad mums jau trešā paudze vēl piedalās latviešu organizācijās un lepni saka, es esmu latvietis. Ir retas tautas, kas ir noturējušās 3 paudzes, uzturot savu kultūru, valodu un sabiedrību Amerikā. We can be very proud, very unique thing to Latvians. I will put it out that also Estonians and Lithuanians. We still have active Latvian centers after 75 years, churches and schools, and incredibly, a 3rd generation of Latvians continues to participate in these organizations and proudly proclaim their Latvian heritage. It is very rare, in my opinion, that any ethnic group would hold on to their heritage in America for 3 generations. Most that come here assimilate within a generation and become part of that American melting pot. I've talked to many people, Polish, German, French, Spanish, and within a generation they don't speak the language, they don't embrace the culture. Of course, that's the great thing about America, that they accept us and we can come here and be part of this great land. We can maintain our culture, our schools, our churches, but we can also be major contributors to America, which Latvians have been. So that's been very incredible. Now, what can we wait for in the future? Ko varam sagaidīt nākotnē? Latviešu skaits Amerikā nepieaug. Visas sabiedrības sāk samazināties. Bet tie, kas ir palikuši, ir vareni un daudz vēl ko var panākt. What can we anticipate for the future? The number of Latvians in America is not growing, and all the Latvian societies and organizations are dwindling. But those of us that are left are strong and committed, and there's a lot we can still do. That's one of the main questions people ask, what can we do? Indianapolis, the Latvians in central Indiana, no different than Milwaukee. We're very happy we still have a Latvian school. Some have very good Latvian, some don't, but they want to participate. They want to be part of that Latvian culture. And I'm going to use a couple of examples that I think we can learn from. Mēs varam, kā piemēru, varam ņemt vērā Valsts. Tā ir Zviedru organizācija, kas ir tagad strādājusi jau pāri pat 120 gadiem, un viņi vēl aktīvi darbojas. As an example, we can use the Swedish organization of Vasa that is still active after over 120 years of existence. And they happen to also be a member organization of the Latvian Center in Indianapolis. We intentionally invited groups to come join us. The amazing thing is, most of them don't speak Swedish and haven't in generations, but they still identify as Swedes. There's another group, Skoti, arī savu kultūru un vēsturi uztur jau pēc 300 gadiem. Mēs ar Skotiem rīkojām Skotu spēles Latviešu centrā. So the Scots also maintain their culture and history. Perhaps it's the movie Braveheart. I mean, everybody loved that one. And we've been working with the Scottish Society in Indianapolis. They're also a member organization. And we hosted the Scottish Highland Games at the Latvian Center, I believe 3 years. We had 1,500 people. Of course, we have a very large property. We have about 7 acres there. But it was really an incredible experience. And that brings me to ko mēs varam darīt? What can we do? Pirmkārt, iekļaujot tos latviešus un ģimenes locekļi, kas nav bijuši aktīvi latviešu sabiedrībā, vai arī nerunā latviski. Mums ir daudz gudri cilvēki, kas biznesā ir daudz ko paveikuši, kas var mums palīdzēt. I invite Latvians and their spouses who have not been active in the Latvian society to come back and participate in the Latvian community, regardless of whether you speak English or not. Andres mentioned, back in the 70s and 80s, we had hundreds of Latvians in Indianapolis. A large Latvian school, large folk dance groups. You know, the fact that some kids fell to the side or weren't participating, we weren't concerned about. But as the years have passed, our numbers are dwindling, and that's been a big problem. And how do we maintain that? There's very sharp people in spouses that are American, business people that can bring that to your organization. Contacts, which is what honorary consul is all about, is contacts, contacts, contacts. Politicians know how important that is. Business knows how important that is. There's a lot that those folks can bring to our communities and organizations. Meklējiet iespēju sastrādāt ar citu tautu organizācijām un tautiešiem. Identify other ethnic groups with similar cultures to work together and support each other. When I became president of the Latvian Center in Indianapolis in 2004, we changed the way we thought of everything, and we became a business. And how can we move forward? And we had a lot of work to do. The Latvian Center was old. It needed to be completely remodeled. New roofs, new parking lots. These are hundreds of thousands of dollars. We had about 10,000 in rentals when I started, and by the time we ended, we were bringing in about 80,000 a year. And the community really came together. We also invited, the Estonians and Lithuanians have been coming to the Latvian Center for many years. We also looked outside of that and said, who else could come? We invited the Swedes, the Poles, the Czechs, the Slovaks, the Scots, and all of them became part of it, of the Latvian community. They didn't have voting rights. They were member organizations. But the incredible thing is when we had a Talka, or when we had the spring cleanup, there would be more people from the other countries than Latvians that were actually there to help maintain the property. So look for that opportunity to partner with groups that have a similar culture, similar mission, similar traditions. And to this day, all those groups continue to come to the Latvian Center. Meklējiet iespējas piedalīties sarīkojums jūsu vietējās pilsētās un stāstiet visiem par Latvijas kultūru, vēsturi, tradīcijām un, protams, ēdienu. Look for opportunities to participate in your local communities and introduce everyone to our incredible culture, history, traditions, and food. Of course, I call that pirāg diplomacy, with a little balsams to boot. So when you meet with the mayor or the governor, just keep pushing pirāg at him until he agrees to whatever you're presenting to him and so forth. But it is really important to make connections in your communities with people in the city council. You'll be amazed, America's changed a lot. From the America I grew up in to today, it seems like America is much more willing to accept other cultures, other groups, other languages. I know Carmel, we're expanding because we realize that about 25% of our high school population and our population in Carmel are immigrants. If you add the first generation, it may be 30, 35%. So it's a significant amount of the population. And what that mean for politicians? More votes. That's right. Remember, that's always something important. Dibinājiet sadraudzības pilsētas. I mean, establish sister cities. Great way to do it. And the thing about the sister city is, unlike the other Latvian organizations, in the end, if we come to the end and we don't have members, of course, organizations die. The thing about Carmel Jelgava is, it's not dependent upon me or the Latvian community. It's the city of Carmel and the city of Jelgava that will keep this going for generations. That's a unique opportunity, and there might not be any Latvians left on the board by that point, but we've started it, we've established it, and we need to keep it going. That is very important. Another thing, because visiem ļoti svarīgi, support your organizations, support your church, support the schools, support the sabiedrība. All that's very important. Join organizations like the Joint Baltic American National Committee. That's very important. They send out the Baltic call to action, so you guys can send emails to your congressman supporting legislation that supports Latvia. Join the American Latvian Association. Support the Daugavas Vanag organizations. All of these groups are very important, and they need our support. Support the schools, support Gadazers, support all the camps. Those are very important. Like I said, it's time for us to be as inclusive as possible, bring ourselves within the American community. I've been amazed how Carmel has responded in supporting all these exchange programs, all those opportunities with Yelvin. So it's really incredible. We have inherited some incredible gifts from our parents and grandparents. This beautiful church is an example. The Milwaukee Latvian Society and other organizations. The torch has been passed to us. We have an incredible opportunity to not only continue our Latvian community's heritage and culture, but also engage and expand in our local communities. Something Latvians had tended not to do because we tended to stay within our comfort zone and our own people. So share the amazing history, the culture, highlight the contributions Latvia's made, like the Christmas tree. Don't listen to the Germans. And look for new opportunities to be part of your community. Ir bijis mans gods pavadīt Latvijas valsts svētkus ar jums šo vakaru. It's been my honor to spend this evening celebrating Latvia's Independence Day with all of you. Paldies and thank you, and Dievs svētī Latviju.
Liels paldies, Alan. Thank you very much. I'm sure we'll have opportunity to ask him some questions downstairs. And so, again, thank you very much. I know this isn't the first time I've seen the presentation. Each time you keep adding more pictures because you keep doing more. You're so active, and we really appreciate everything that you do for all of us, really. Alex is setting up the speech from Latvia's president, Edgars Rinkēvičs. And as soon as he has that queued up, we will commence with that.
Draugi Latvijā un pasaulē. Visi draugi Latvijā un pasaulē. Visi, kur ir kopā ar Latviju, gan savās domās, gan savos darbos, ikdienā un svētku reizēs. 18. novembris ir mūsu svētku diena jau 106 gadus, un mēs svinam. Jau vesela paudze to var svinēt pavisam brīvi, atklāti un lepni, gan Latvijā, gan pasaulē. Esmu pārliecināts, ka mūsu senči, kas Latvijai ziedoja savas dzīvības, priecātos par mūsu līgsmību, par sarkanbaltsarkanā karoga lentītēm pie mūsu krūtīm, par svētku galdiem un svētku dziesmām. Lai kur mēs būtu, strādātu, mīlētu, studētu, vai tikai meklētu savu ceļu. 18. novembris mums atgādina par mūsu saknēm, par mūsu valsti un par mūsu mājām, par Latviju. Mīļie tautieši, mums ir Latvija, tā ir dārgums, tā ir skaistums. Mūsu Latvija ir mūsu atbildība. Mūsu brīvība ir mūsu atbildība. Un atbildība nav nasta. Tā ir brīnišķīga iespēja. Tā ir iespēja veidot pašiem savu sapņu zemi. Mēs esam vienīgie, kuriem ir svarīgi uzņemties atbildību par Latviju. Jo mēs esam vienīgie, kuriem ir svarīgi piepildīt tieši mūsu sapņus. Paldies katram Latvijas patriotam, kurš šogad ir stiprinājis un aizstāvējis mūsu tēvī. Paldies katram, kurš ir sapņojis un cīnījies par saviem un arī Latvijas sapņiem. Lai kur jūs būtu un lai ko jūs darītu pasaulē, jūs vienmēr esat un būsiet gaidīti Latvijā. Sirsnīgi sveicu ikvienu Latvijas patriotu mūsu valsts proklamēšanas 106. gada dienā. Dievs svētī Latviju!
Have a couple of apsveikumi. The first is from PBLA, and I won't read the whole thing, but we will send it out to all of you, which further describes this honoree's lifetime achievements. Pasaules brīvo Latviešu apvienība 2024. gadā savu gadsimtajo balvu piešķirusi apvienotās karalistes latviešu koru diriģentei, etnomuzikoloģei, bijušai Latviešu Nacionālas padomes Lielbritānijā priekšsēdēji un PBLA priekšsēža vietniecei, Lielbritānijas Latviešu sabiedrības ilgadējai darbiniecei Lilijai Sabīnei Zobens. Un mēs izsūtīsim viņu biogrāfiju un tā tālāk. Un tad no Alas esam saņēmuši ļoti godīgu atzinības rakstu. Un man ir liels prieks to izlasīt. Mēs vienlaikās varam visi būt lepni. Augsti godātais Lauri Roškalns. Lauris Roškalns ir Lauris Roškalns ir ilgadējs un aktīvs Garazara 3x3. Ilgus gadus palīdzējis sievai Zanei ar vitrāžas darbnīcas iekārtošanu, pēdējos gados pats vada iecīnīto kupināšanas ievirzi. Lauris atsaucīgi ar siltu enerģiju un vienmēr ar smaidu uzņemās daudzos nemanāmos darbus. Lauris visu mūžu ir aktīvs arī Milvoku latviešu sabiedrībā. Ir Filis studentu korporācijā Latonijai, aktīvi darbojies Daugavas vanagos, Milvoku latviešu svētās trīsvienības draudzes revizijas komitejā, dejojas tautas dejas Milvoku metiniņā, kasieris Milvoku latviešu mednieku un makšķernieku klubā, daļa no latviešu tirdziņu komandas Holiday Folk Fair Milvokos. 3x3 nomene un latviešu sabiedrība nav iespējama bez tādiem darbīgiem un gaišiem cilvēkiem kā Lauris. Paldies par mūžu darbu. Apsveicam laud, apsveicam. Tiešām tas ir pelnīts. Tagad būs īsti 10 minūtes starpbrīdis. During this intermission, our talented Aidan will be playing a movement of Beethoven's Appassionata. Thank you. So feel free to stretch your legs and walk around. This is meant as music to enjoy during the startbrīds. So we'll see you all back here in 10 minutes. And thank you.
Dāmas un kungi, gatavosimies svētku programmai.
I wish we had some talented people in our midst. Thank you for the wonderful concert. Thank you, Aiden, for the wonderful piece. Thank you, Victor, for turning the pages. Hopefully you can all join us downstairs for actually the food table looks beautiful, and some wine and some fellowship as we celebrate Latvia's freedom. And I think we've seen and heard today that we're still going strong, and let's keep going that way. I'd like to thank personally Andre Berziņš. I apologize, you're not Berziņš, you're Berziņš, mispronounced. And also Ernest, if you could come up, please. As always, just tremendous. Thank you. Paldies jums visiem, redzēsimies lejas telpā.